G'day everybody and welcome to another episode of Muzz and the Chefs. How the hell did we end up here? Episode 14 I think we're up to now.
Fucking hell, 14.
Yeah. I remember when I was 14.
14 hours in this room with you.
14. Yeah.
That's a bit scary. And the rest. Yeah.
And the rest.
The rest when I watch you do, like, all the shit that you do.
Not including the
Alright.
other stuff.
Yeah. Hair and makeup. Doesn't swallow, by the way.
Oh dear. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you could please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down there would be awesome. Thank you so much. Not quite sure how many subscribers we've got.
It's over 20.
Yeah, it's over 20 odd, so that's good. So keep subscribing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
If you
And thank
subscribe,
you again for watching.
do it again.
Do it. Yeah.
You'll be a double subscriber.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your relatives.
Tell your family.
Not royal family.
Most of my bloody family does listen to this.
Do they? And I suppose
My mother listens to it and my mother-in-law listens to it. So
Wow.
how scary is that? Yeah. Anyway,
Does your wife listen to it?
sometimes
Okay.
when she has time. Yeah.
When she has time.
Usually she says, "Oh, we'll sit down and watch it now," and I go, "No, I don't want to."
Murray,
I've already been there and done it and watched it 5 times over in the editing
Murray
process.
edits. I just leave.
Well,
So-
actually, matter of fact, it's funny you bring that up because I don't do very much editing at all. We don't actually. You'll notice we don't do any cut scenes
No.
in the show.
The fuck are you doing with your hands?
Cutting, you know.
Okay. Right.
No, we don't cut. We just. I think it was only the one time when a name was mentioned.
Yes.
And you said no,
you
don't
gotta
mention
take his
name.
name
So,
out, yeah.
and that was when we were just doing audio. So, but as you'll notice, we don't edit. We just talk our crap and then we
Yep.
move on. So,
And then Murray
No further
occasionally does fact checks and we go, oh, did we get that fucking wrong? Really?
wrong again.
Not today.
Amazing. Okay, so this week it is your topic.
Absolutely.
And what
And
is it?
it's my topics tend to be broader than yours. Yours seem to be like, right, and that annoys me, and it generally annoys me too. This one's different. I watched a show called Deep Web.
Deep Web.
Yep. And it was about a website called the Silk Road.
Okay.
And the Silk Road was a website put up to sell drugs online.
Okay.
Illegally.
Illegally.
Because sale of
I was
drugs.
assuming it was illegal.
But what it did was, it took the violence and the connection and like the back alleys out of drug transactions. It also gave the buyer more power. So if a seller on this website gave somebody bad stuff or someone died or someone overdosed from
feedback.
it. Yeah, seriously.
I think that's a good idea.
And
If
the
you're-
law,
if you're into illegal drugs, that is.
certain law enforcement people who wouldn't be named and wouldn't come on the show said that their crime rate and all this dropped because of this website.
Yeah.
So it was on a place called the Dark Web, and they used a thing called Thor. I'm not sure what that is, but it was a way of hiding all their.
IP addresses.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So
But
IP address.
he also. The only reason they could do it is they used Bitcoin
okay
as a
Not paying-
transaction,
Right.
because there's no government in charge of Bitcoin, and there's
Yep.
no one body, there's no central bank for Bitcoin. So they had a cryptic,
Cryptocurrency.
yeah, and it just all worked. And they eventually caught the guy who set it up. After 4 years, the FBI investigated him for 4 years before they caught him, and they put him in jail for 30 years without chance of parole in America.
Jesus.
And they said because they put him down as a kingpin, a drug kingpin, but he wasn't the actual seller.
He
on
wasn't
the
the
site.
supplier. He was.
He just put buyers and sellers in touch with each other. He called himself the Dread.
Drug eBay.
No, the Dread Pirate Robertson from The Princess Bride, because
okay.
once one's missing, somebody else steps up and does it.
Yeah.
So, my question, in a roundabout way, is mostly about drugs, but also about the dark net. Do you think... I think that system that he created, and his whole philosophy, there was a manifesto all the way through it going, there is no harm to anybody on this site. Anybody found doing anything other than drug sales, like if there was no murder for hire,
gun
no
sales.
hitman, nothing of that.
Yeah.
If you weren't within this, and it was
guidelines.
all about creating a safer place for people to buy drugs that weren't cut with bleach, and they didn't have to go to a dark alley in the middle of a city to buy them. And also the sellers, they had like vendor XYZ, blah blah blah, could refuse to sell if they thought you weren't the right person, or if they thought you
Fair
were,
income or
yeah,
yeah.
they couldn't sell to you. What do you think? I know it's a.
Incriminate yourself by saying that's a fucking good idea.
I think it was brilliant.
I think it's a good idea. Absolutely. I think particularly if you're taking out those other risk factors. I mean, I'll just say a member of my family got severely beaten over a drug-related issue, and if you're taking that element out of it, I think that's a good thing. I guess it comes down to what drugs they were selling. Was it just everything? What?
Oh, it was everything from cannabis to heroin.
Okay.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah, it's, I think it's a good thing. To a point, of course. When drugs are bad,
Yeah.
But
you know, people are always going to take drugs.
they will.
People are always going to
They
take
will.
drugs, and if you take the harm factor out of them being able to obtain them,
Yeah,
I think that's brilliant.
yeah. And I remember when I used to smoke pot when I was younger and stuff like that.
You did not.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it was always dealing with some dodgy. You didn't care about them. You didn't care about how cool they thought they were as the supplier of pot in the town or whatever. You didn't care about that. All you wanted was your product, and you just sat around the house, listened to records and smoking dope, and that's all you did. You know what I mean? You didn't do anything bad.
Led Zeppelin and the Doors.
Oh, but I'm not a huge Zeppelin fan actually, but no, you listen to the Doors and whatever. But Pink Floyd, of course.
Pink Floyd, of course.
But
The Dark Side of
But we
Nonsense.
didn't do anything bad. The only thing that we did bad was to ourselves. We didn't go around and smash things up and kill and rape people and break into businesses. And
this is
shit
what
like
this
that.
website did. It took the power away from the drug dealers.
Yeah, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great
Like,
thing.
it took the complete power away from them, so there was no physical interaction
Yeah.
whatsoever. There was no intimidation, nothing.
Yeah.
And it gave all the power to the purchaser.
Yeah. One of the things I think is good in certain states in America is the legalization of cannabis and marijuana. I think that's really good. Because you are, again, you're taking that risk element out of it by dealing with dangerous, dare
Underworld.
I say it, Mexican drug lords. Or whoever.
Build a wall, build a wall.
Build a wall. But no, drug lords, whoever they may be. But I think that's really good. And not only that, you can then generate tax income from the sale of this product.
Yep.
And then it becomes a lot more regulated. And so, I think the whole safety of it.
It removes, the danger, and it also removes the
But
person.
30 years is a bit rough.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, some people murder people and they get
Ross
that.
Urlick. Urlick is his name. He was 29.
Yeah, wow. That's
And he still
It's not
claims
like
he still claims it wasn't him that was in charge.
okay.
And because to set it up, they went through the background of what it would take to set the whole thing up, and it's ridiculous the amount of information you need and firewalls and all this. Like I know fucking nothing about computers. I put my hand on my heart and go, I don't know anything. But I had this on in the background while I was doing something else, and by the halfway through, I shoved everything to the side and I just went, I'm so engrossed in what these people were doing.
And this was a program on
SBS Viceland.
Right, okay.
It was fantastic.
And this was in America, like the
Well, the guy lived. He started off, grew up. His family owned villas in Puerto Rico, and they rented out the villas. That's how they made their money.
Okay.
And he went through university, did engineering and physics. Physics.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Australia. He was in Sydney for 6 years or something. Then he moved back to San Francisco, and he'd set up a business before called doing recycled books.
Yep.
So people would give him books and he'd on-sell them online.
Yep.
So it was like pre-loved books type of thing.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden the Silk Road started, and they spent 4 years trying to make sure that he was the person, and they've never released the information on how they caught him. They caught him with his server open. But the only way they could have caught him was using the same hacking tools he was using, which are illegal.
Right.
So his manifesto all the way through this show is reducing harm and how people need to be like decent humans even within the drug trade. And they crucified him.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, isn't it?
So the second part of that, besides the drugs, is all these computer whiz kids and nerds. How much information they could get and what they can hack and what they could do is just ridiculous. Like, there's none. I'm sorry if you think your Gmail account's safe. You've got nothing. You've literally got nothing.
It is not there. Yeah. I really don't know what to say about it apart from. See, I guess. See, a lot of time,
I'm not encouraging people to take drugs, by the way.
No, but what I think a lot of the time, a lot of this shit has got to do with the government don't give a fuck about drugs. They don't give a fuck about people. They care about the revenue they're missing from fucking people making tax-free dollars. That's what they get pissed off about. It's not necessarily always about the drugs. You know, we don't like heroin. Fuck off. You know, look at the amount of people that were addicted to, opiate type drugs in this country. You know, codeine and fucking. All those endone and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's legal. What they call it, hillbilly heroin.
Yeah.
Shit like that. And that's totally. I mean, they've put a big dampener on that at the moment. You know, you have to have prescriptions and stuff to get it. Where before you could just walk in and go, I've got a migraine, and they give you a packet of codeine and paracetamol for, you know, and then you just sit there like a lightweight like me, sits and goes, dribbling it out the side of the mouth. But
I've seen that dribble, and that's just normal.
That's just normal. Yeah, that's just them.
I've had 2 beers, I got a dribble. Jeez, why do I feel like a steak? Oh, hold on, I'm vegetarian.
But, that's a very interesting moral conundrum there.
It is, that. Because it also, like, I'm a massive anti-nanny state. And if people want to take drugs, people are going to take drugs. If people want to take drugs, they will do it.
Anyway, and actually, a really good point to bring up with this too is it was like the girls, there was 15 girls from the local festival here, music festival here,
Groove in the Moo
a couple of months ago, who took bad shit
and
ended up in 15 ended up in hospital for taking bad whatever the fuck they were taking, bad ecstasy, or I don't know what the kids are on these days.
What are the kids on these days?
I have no idea, but designer drugs and that. And that if
that would remove it.
It would remove that. It's like I said, it's like drug eBay.
Yeah,
drug eBay. Basically, that's what it is. You have a feedback system. Oh no, this shit's no good. Don't take it. It's been cut with this.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Isn't that great?
So I think that's a great way to control things.
And even if you really wanted to go down the road and make this proper, it could be government run. The government could do it.
Yeah.
Then they could have their revenue. They could tax it.
Yeah.
They could make it safe, and it's just a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant idea. And this guy gone to jail for the rest of his life because of it.
Yeah, but that sentence is just ridiculous. People don't go to jail for less than that for murdering somebody.
Yeah. And all he was trying to do was create a safe environment for people. The way there was one quote that reminded me. He goes, "It's a cat and mouse game the whole time with the government and the law enforcement, cat and mouse." He said the mice will always win, but the cats will get fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great analogy.
Definitely. Well, when you really look at it, I mean, I don't know statistics here, it'll be something to look up, but look at the 2 legal drugs in this country, in most Western countries, and it all comes down to acceptance, doesn't it?
You're talking alcohol and nicotine.
I'm talking alcohol and nicotine.
Caffeine you can put in there as well.
Oh, I can put caffeine in there as well, but caffeine doesn't really...
Have you ever had 12 cups of coffee?
I've had no dose. but caffeine isn't going to kill the amount of people from heart disease and those type of related diseases. Then
liver disease, lung disease, cancer.
Yeah, all that bad shit. That compared to... I was
takes into the slug.
I was talking to somebody the other night, and I won't mention the fella's name, and you don't know him, but when he came out and he said, marijuana is my choice of drug, I nearly fucking fell over. And he's a lovely guy, and he's my parents' age, so he's not a young fella. And when he said, that's what I do, and I've just gone, no way would a person like you be a pot smoker. And he was. And it just blew me away. I just did not expect this person.
I'm now racking my brain to think
you actually don't know this person.
Okay.
But yeah, really, really lovely guy. And it's like, and he was saying things like, it's going to become more accepted, and the
at the moment he could go to jail because of it.
Yeah, the medicinal benefits are going to come out more and more and more and stuff like that, and it will be accepted. You think me and you, we're getting on, you know, how old are we, in our late 40s? So, you know, and we grew up with that. Like I said, when I was talking to him, I said that my hometown that I grew up in, that's what you did.
Okay.
That was you did. Yeah, I actually used to drink very little back then. My drug of choice was marijuana. That's what I used to do.
But you see, where I grew up in Dublin in Ireland, that wasn't there then.
Wasn't there?
No, we had hash, but that was really hard to get. But
okay,
the late 80s, early 90s, we got swamped with ecstasy and speed because it was the rave scene.
Okay.
Which was much more the road I went down.
Yeah, okay, right.
So rather than marijuana makes me sick.
Okay.
It makes me violently ill, I don't touch the stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't do drugs at all. This is all natural.
He's really only 25 years old.
Yeah, run your own business.
Well, maybe because... No, that's not... I was going to say maybe because I grew up in a rural area and stuff like that. Maybe it was easier to grow.
It's a climate. We couldn't grow it in Ireland.
Couldn't?
No.
No, okay.
So they used to get little blocks of hashish.
Hash, yeah.
Yeah, and that's we used to break it off and crumble it into tobacco and smoke it.
Okay.
So that was... But that was... And the other problem we had in Ireland was we had a huge heroin. Like Dublin had a massive heroin problem. And because the way Ireland... We sit on the outskirts of Europe, and there's no border control between us and the rest of Europe, so the amount of drugs that used to come...
there's a good argument for your border control.
The amount of drugs that used to come through Ireland was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Yeah, it comes down to things like supply and demand and you know, things like that, I guess, too.
But they used to send it through the post. That's how this worked.
Yeah, wow, through the post.
Yeah. What they used to do was they'd send it in DVD covers. So they get a DVD cover, put your drugs inside, close the DVD cover, put it in a, like, you know, the bubble wrap type packages, and they'd just post it to you.
Yeah.
So the postman's the actual delivery guy.
See, and this comes back. I'm thinking in my mind here about victimless crimes, you know, and with this guy on his website, realistically, in case in point being marijuana, is that it then would become a victimless crime because, well, I don't think I've never met anybody who's OD'd on marijuana. I don't care what anyone says. When you're on pot, you don't drive fast.
No.
And yeah, your response time.
You shouldn't drive at all.
No, you shouldn't drive at all. But I know that when I was a kid and you got in your car and you'd had a few cones and you'd be like, I'm going way too fast, and you'd be doing 40 k's in an 80 zone, you know. But so
he just admitted to traffic offences and drug use. I want that noted here.
No, I wasn't speeding. I was going way under the limit.
Yeah, but you were over the limit.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, but there was no drug test. I don't do it anymore. But
at the core of this, I think this guy was doing a good thing.
Yeah, but I'm going further into the particularly with marijuana at the moment, and cannabis is a big issue at the moment because, you know, when Gene Simmons comes out, and Gene Simmons, believe it or not, is so conservative. You know, he might be, you know, a well-known sort of rock star, but
tell the people what you do. Tell the people what they
know. So I play Gene Simmons
in a Kiss tribute band.
In a Kiss tribute band. Oh, believe it or not. And anyway, I'll put a little graphic up here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like this.
But yeah, well, and when Gene Simmons comes out, and believe it or not, he's a massive conservative. Gene Simmons. He still to this day says, I've never willingly been drunk or stoned in my life. To this very day.
So I think always against his will, is it?
Well, once it was in his book, which I've got over there. He did say that somebody gave him a hash cookie once, and he didn't know what it was, and he ate it, and then he got stoned off it.
Okay.
But not knowingly.
Is he Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was born in Israel.
Was he born in Israel?
Yeah, he was born in Israel. Very young. He immigrated to America when he was very young, about 4 or 5 years old. But anyway, so when Gene Simmons comes out and says, I'm going to invest in cannabis,
money making.
There's money to be made there. So, you know, I think, you know, you think people our age are becoming the new policymakers. I'm talking about marijuana here particularly. You know, people our age are becoming the policymakers in government and stuff like that. The whole stigma around marijuana is just going to disappear. I mean, there's lots of conspiracy theories about this stuff, you know, how it became illegal, because, you know, it really doesn't kill anybody, you know. And like you said, with, you know, this family member of mine, which what happened to him would not have happened if there was a market available to them like that.
Yeah.
Because basically got beaten up because they said they stole it off these people who beat him up, which wouldn't happen if you had a marketplace like that.
Yeah, it's all. It's they were interviewing this police chief in, I think it was Oakland.
Oh, that's where I was going to go. But keep going.
And he went last month, last year. There was a drug dealer. The deal went wrong, and he shot 7 people in this one house: mother and father and 5 kids. And he goes, if we can remove that and remove all that shit from our streets, he goes, we're never gonna win. He openly came out and said, we're never gonna remove drugs from society. It's never gonna happen.
No, it won't.
And he said, but if we can move this way and remove all the danger and the gun violence from it, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
But what government and which country is going to be that forward-thinking to go, you know what, we should possibly do that? But the argument in Australia at the moment is the pill testing thing.
Yeah.
So it's all along those lines. There wouldn't be need for pill testing. With a website like this, there wouldn't be need for that.
Yeah, yeah. But hasn't been shooting galleries in Australia for years where you can go and shoot up in these places and stuff like that safely?
There's one in King's Cross and there was one in Melbourne.
Was there?
I think the one in King's Cross they've tried to close, and the one in Melbourne, the residents around it, fair enough, complain like buggery because there's needles and junkies, and I can understand that. And that would remove that as well.
Yeah.
That would take it. There was also a thing on this website about safe needles and what to do and how to look after people. It was just a brilliant idea.
Going back to cannabis for a moment too. I'm trying to bring up arguments about.
Are you going back to cannabis?
No, it's Canada.
Canada, right?
No,
which they've just made it legal.
Have they?
Yeah,
good on them. They're very progressive over there. But you think the court system is clogged up with people who may have had a fucking joint or a sappo of pot or a foilie or something like that.
3 pills.
Or whatever. It's like the court system's being clogged up. Jails are being clogged up for what? A fucking substance that hardly does anything to you physiologically. You know what I mean? To me, it's fucking madness. It's like locking people up for alcohol.
I had a friend's son.
And it's way worse for you than marijuana.
Okay. I had a friend's son, and he was in a nightclub in the local area. And this girl came up and started dancing with him, getting all close and, dirty dancing type thing. And said, oh, have you got any pills? And he went, no, but I can get some. And he went and bought 5, which is a commercial sellable amount.
Okay.
Came back to her and she said, oh, let's go outside and take them. And went outside and she was a copper.
Yeah.
And he got done. He went to Musselbrook jail.
Was it in Sydney?
This is in Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle. Okay.
So shit like that's just wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. This has happened to me just a couple of weeks ago. I won't mention the place or the venue, but I was playing at this venue, and at the end of the night, and it was busy. It was a flat out night for this particular place, and at the end of it, I think I'd packed up, and I was sort of standing there talking to Michelle, and I was waiting to give the boss my invoice and all sort of stuff. And a guy on a phone stood there and he went, you got a business card? And I went, oh, so I do, it's probably in the car. I have to go and get it for you. And he went, anyway, you can get me some takeaways? And I went, can't help you with that, mate. He was an undercover cop.
Right.
He was trying to get me to get takeaways illegally from the bar
so he could
do the bar.
Wow.
And I just went, because, when you're a muso, and you'd probably get it in your line of work a bit too, people think that you can procure things for people easier than if they went up the bar and said, oh, give me a fucking 6-pack for takeaway, Or
if they're hammered and cut off and they go,
just get me a fucking bourbon and coke.
Just get us one more. I'll behave. I'll mop up the sick.
And actually, it was Michelle that actually went, he was an undercover cop, because as soon as I said, oh, I can't help with that, mate, he looked at the other one and went, and then nodded at each other. The police nodded, and then they left.
Is there a police nod?
Yeah, so that was interesting, which I've never encountered before, I don't think.
I had a undercover police come into a venue that I was running, a venue I owned, and I only had a license. I could only sell alcohol if you were having a meal.
Yeah.
They walked in, man and woman, holding hands, sat down and said, oh, no, can we just have a drink? And the waitress, thank God, the waitress said, "Oh, are you going to eat?" And they went, "Oh, no, but we'll just have a beer." And she went, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you." But if she had, my arse would have been in a sling. So, yeah, there's so many different things and aspects to it. Well, what's illegal and who gets to draw the line?
Yeah.
You know, and as a society, a progressive society, we should be able to run websites like the Silk Road, and without fear of going to jail for 30 years and trying to make... All he tried to do was put dealers and sellers and purchasers in touch with each other in a safe environment.
Yeah. I guess this is where it comes down to the... Is lethality a word?
I think you're making up your own words. You generally just make up facts.
Well, how lethal the drug is. I mean, and one example in this country at the moment is the ice epidemic, and that is bad fucking shit.
Yep.
And it's destroying people's lives, families, everything like that, because it is such a bad drug. So, and this is where you go, well, okay, you can go onto this website and buy your ice. It might be good quality shit, but you're still destroying people. You're not doing it, but the people taking it are destroying their lives because
that's
you're
their
making it
choice.
accessible to them.
If you don't sell it to them, somebody else will. And they can sell them bad stuff, or they can sell them, you know, it's always going to happen, whether the website's there or not.
Yeah,
people
true.
are still going to buy the drugs. It's still going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to promote drugs here at all.
You're not advocating.
I am not. And you know what? Because I've got dreadlocks. The amount of people come up to me from time to time in different places going, "Hey, have you got any, joints?" Or like, it happens all the fucking time.
Being a muso is exactly the same thing.
Just because I've got dreadlocks.
Yeah. I remember a gig I did many years ago, of all places, Nelson Bay Bowling Club, and I was doing this gig, and this guy made this... What do you call it?
Overture?
Gesture towards me, and I just nodded.
Was it like this?
No. I think he did something like that.
Oh, cocaine.
And he did something like that to me. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I just, when you're busy and you're playing... And
I didn't want to sound excited just then.
I didn't know what the fuck he was trying to tell me. And I've just gone, "Oh, yeah, whatever," like that, just nodded my head. And then he's come up to me and shook my hand and he's gone, "Merry Christmas." And he's put speed or ice or something in my hand. And I've just gone, "Oh, fuck, thanks." Because, if I turned around and went, "I don't fucking want your shit," he probably would have got upset with me. So I held on to it. And then at the time, a certain musician that I was playing with was into those kind of drugs, and I thought, I'll keep it and give it to him. And I went, hang on a sec, but if I did that and I drive home in my car and I'm pulled up by the cops and they go through me shit and I get busted with it, then I get done for the drugs. So I just took it, much to this guy's displeasure, I'm sure. I just took it to the toilet and just flushed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't take it. No, I didn't. I'd had speed many, many, many years ago, and I hated it. I thought it was awful. I wasn't interested in it at all.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yes. I have. Will. No, I don't like that type of drug. I'm more of a... If I'm into anything, I like things that mellow me out, not hype me up.
See, I'm the complete opposite.
You want to be hyped up.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, let's go!"
Yeah, no, I'd rather mellow out.
Which I don't really need, to be brutally honest.
So, no, I'd rather something that's going to mellow me out than that winds me up.
See, drugs is a strange thing, because...
Drugs it's like a weed. And I mean that not the weed, but it's like a weed you find in your garden. People go, "Oh, that's a weed." And you go, "No, a weed is something growing somewhere where you don't want it to." I know this is a stretch, but it's the same thing with drugs. What do you identify as a drug? That's a drug. Cigarettes are a drug.
Yep.
Panadol's a drug.
Yep. So who gets to draw the line?
Exactly. And it is. It's another. It's like refugees. It's a very hard topic to go, "This is what I think, and this is what I think should happen," because it is a very broad and varied thing.
You're in agreement with me that this guy shouldn't have gone to jail for 30 years.
For 30, that's ridiculous. Like I said,
I don't think he should have gone to jail at all.
No,
but
they should have just closed him down, and that's it.
Yeah.
Close it down if that's what they're worried about.
Well, they closed it down, and then while he was on trial, another.
But he wasn't the actual supplier, was he? He was just the website owner.
Yep.
Okay, so he wasn't actually.
He didn't sell drugs. He
didn't sell it himself. He just had a platform where he could sell.
So you had to. All the vendors had to pay to be on the site. And all the purchasers had to pay to be on the site.
Yeah.
So that's how he made his money.
Yeah.
But they shut it down, and while he was on trial, it popped up again with a new Dread Pirate Roberts.
Well, it's like any of those torrent type sites, like they tried to close those torrent. You know what a torrent is, don't you? No. People, internet geeks know what I'm talking about. Illegal downloading software where you can go to this shared thing, and people would put up torrents, these files where you could share albums and movies and all sort of stuff. And as soon as
robbing music and movies.
Essentially, yeah.
How do you feel about that as a musician?
Well, I haven't done it. I buy stuff now. I don't do it anymore.
Do you know what I like to do? Like, if I'm going to buy music, I like to buy a CD. I like
buying a CD.
Something I can touch.
Yeah, I like that too. These days, a lot of the music that I listen to as well, it's just easy to get through iTunes, so I buy stuff through iTunes as well. I don't actually. You know, one of the ones. Oh, this is a different topic for another time. But I don't particularly like things like Spotify.
Yeah, that's because they don't pay people.
Well, they get paid, but they get paid very, very little. They might get cents on a play or something like that, which is ridiculous. But yeah, it's that's a topic for another podcast actually. That one.
I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
because I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think it's. I guess police just go, "What you're doing is illegal. Go to jail."
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Okay, well, we sort of got past the half hour there, so
as normal.
Well, not only by a couple of minutes, but I really don't know what. I don't.
Well, we haven't got anywhere.
It's rough that he got. No, it's a tough one. I think it's a bit rough that he went to jail for 30 years for it.
If you look up it's a show called Deep Web.
5-6 years. You know, maybe would be acceptable. You're not fucking 30 years. That's like we're making an example of you.
Yeah. But now there's lots of other sites that are similar.
Yeah, and it will just keep happening.
Yeah. So, good luck, Ross. Anyway, do your bit.
Okay, so thanks for watching and listening, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, thank you very much. And give us a like, give us a comment, and hit the notification bell as well. And we will talk to you next week.
All right. So, if you're going to buy drugs and you're going to do drugs, make sure you trust the person you buy it from and take good stuff. Other than that, peace out.
Bye.